Leonardo Valentino's hand trembled just once as he pushed through the hospital's emergency entrance. The Don of the Valentino family didn't shake. Not when he'd put bullets in men's skulls, not when he'd watched his father die in his arms. But his mother, Rosa Valentino, the woman who taught him that mercy was weakness, had driven herself to a public hospital instead of summoning their private physicians. That meant she was dying, or hiding. The sterile hallway reeked of disinfectant and desperation. Leonardo moved like a predator through prey. Nurses parted, doctors averted their eyes. Even here, surrounded by the dying, people recognized death when it wore a $10,000 suit. "Room 412, Mr. Valentino," the attending physician's voice cracked. "Smart man." Leonardo turned toward the elevator. That's when the ambulance bay doors exploded open. "Female, mid-20s, blunt force trauma, BP dropping, move!" The gurney flew past him. On it, a woman, dark hair matted with blood, designer dress torn and filthy, one hand reaching out blindly as paramedics swarmed her. Her fingers caught his sleeve. Their eyes met. Hers were the color of good whiskey, and they were dying. "Please," her voice was barely a whisper. Don't let me." "Ma'am, we need to—" A paramedic reached for her hand. "Stay!" Her grip tightened on Leonardo's jacket with impossible strength. Blood stained the Italian wool. "Just stay!" Then her eyes rolled back and her hand went slack. The paramedics rushed her to trauma. Leonardo looked down at his blood-stained sleeve. He'd killed men for less. He followed them. Subscribe now, because what happens when a man who's never saved anyone decides to save someone who was never supposed to survive? The mafia doesn't do mercy, but sometimes mercy wears the face of a dying woman who doesn't know she's just grabbed onto the most dangerous man in New York. Leonardo stood outside the trauma bay, phone pressed to his ear. "Don Valentino, your mother is asking for you." Marco, his consigliere, sounded careful. "Tell her I'll be there in 10 minutes. She's been asking for 30 minutes already. Then she can wait another 10. Through the small window, he watched surgeons work on the unknown woman. Blood. So much blood. They were losing her. Why wasn't he walking away? His phone buzzed. A text from Dante. Carmine picked up. "He'll talk by morning unless we handle it." Another buzz. His mother. "Leonardo. Now." Through the window, the woman's heart monitor flatlined. Leonardo didn't move. The surgeons worked, charged the paddles. Her body arched. Nothing. Again. The monitor beeped. Once. Twice. Rhythm. Leonardo's shoulders dropped an inch. He texted Dante. "Handle Carmine quietly. Make it look natural." Then he walked to room 412. Rosa Valentino didn't look sick. She looked furious. "You're late." She sat upright in bed, perfectly coiffed silver hair, diamonds at her throat. The ivy in her arm seemed almost decorative. "You're not dying." Leonardo kissed her cheek out of ritual, not affection. "Not yet." Rosa's smile was sharp. "The Gallo family made an attempt. Poison in my morning espresso. Amateur work. I tasted the bitter almond before the first sip." Leonardo went very still. "When?" "This morning. I came here to avoid suspicion, to see who would visit me, who would seem too relieved." Her eyes narrowed. "You took 40 minutes. I was delayed." "By what?" "A dying woman's hand in mine." "Business." Rosa studied him like she used to when he was 10 and lying about stealing cannoli. She'd broken his finger that day. Lesson learned. Never lie unless you can sell it. "The Gallos are getting bold," Rosa said. "They think we're weak since your father died. They'll think differently by morning." "Words, Leonardo. Your father would have already painted the streets." "My father's blood painted the streets. I prefer strategy." Rosa's expression softened, barely. "Salvatore Alonso called me yesterday, offered an alliance through marriage. His daughter just returned from studying abroad in Italy." Leonardo's jaw tightened. "I'm not marrying into the Alonso family." "Why? Because they're Chicago trash? Because they deal with the cartels?" Rosa leaned forward. "Or because you still think you can choose love over duty?" "Because I don't trust them." "Good. Trust no one, but use everyone." Rosa settles back against her pillows. "Think about it. The Alonso Empire controls Chicago, Detroit, half of Vegas. United with the Valentinos, we'd be untouchable. Or we'd be painting targets on both families. We already have targets. Rosa closed her eyes. Now leave me. And, Leonardo, next time I summon you, come immediately, even if some putana is bleeding out in the hallway. Leonardo froze. What did you say? I have eyes everywhere, figlio mio, even here. Leonardo found the trauma surgeon in the hallway, scrubbing blood from under his nails. The woman from the ambulance, her status. The surgeon looked up, recognition and fear crossing his face. Mr. Valentino, she's stable, critical, but stable. Another 5 minutes and… What happened to her? Hit and run. Witnesses said a black SUV ran her off the road deliberately, then backed up and hit her again. She's lucky to be alive. Not luck, survival instinct. Leonardo had seen it in her eyes, the refusal to die. Her identification? None. No purse, no phone, no wallet. Just expensive clothes and a Cartier watch. We're running her prints, but nothing's coming up. No identification. Deliberately hit. Someone wanted her dead and wanted it to look like an accident. Put her in a private room. Post security. No visitors without my explicit approval. The surgeon's eyes widened. Mr. Valentino, our protocol is… Your protocol is now whatever I say it is. Leonardo pulled out his phone and made a call. Marco, I need a full background check on a female, mid-20s, dark hair, brown eyes, admitted to Mount Sinai tonight. Someone tried to kill her. I want to know who she is and who wants her dead by morning. He hung up. The surgeon cleared his throat. Sir, why are you… Because she asked me to stay. Leonardo walked away, and I never break my word. 3 days later, she woke up. Leonardo was there when her eyes opened, sitting in the chair by the window like he'd been there for hours, because he had been. Between running his empire, cleaning up the gallows situation, 3 bodies, 1 message, and dodging his mother's matchmaking, he'd spent more time in this hospital room than his own bed. You're real. Her voice was hoarse, confused. I thought I dreamed you. No dream. She tried to sit up, winced, then fell back. Where? What happened? You were in an accident. You've been unconscious for 72 hours. Her hand went to her head, found bandages. I can't remember. Your name? She stared at him, and he watched panic bloom in those whiskey eyes. I don't. Who am I? Leonardo leaned forward. That's what I've been trying to figure out. You had no identification, no phone, nothing. Someone hit me. The memory came back in fragments. Black SUV. I was walking and they came at me once, then again. They wanted… Her breath caught. They wanted me dead. Who? I don't know. Tears now, frustration and fear. I don't know who I am. I don't know why someone would… Oh God, what if they come back? They won't. How do you know? Leonardo stood, buttoned his suit jacket. Because I've had men watching this room since the moment you arrived. Because anyone who wants to hurt you will have to go through me first. And because, he met her eyes, you asked me to stay. She stared at him like she was seeing him for the first time. Why would you do that? You don't know me. No, but you're about to know me. He moved to the door, gestured. Marco entered carrying a tablet. My people have been investigating. We found your accident on traffic cameras. We enhanced the plates on the SUV. It's registered to a shell corporation that traces back to a holding company in Chicago. Her face paled. Chicago. Does that mean something to you? No. Maybe. I don't know. She pressed her palms to her eyes. Everything's just dark. Marco cleared his throat. Don Valentino, we also found this. He showed Leonardo the tablet. Facial recognition finally got a hit. She's been reported missing for 6 months, but the police report was filed in Milan, Italy. Name, Fioretta. The woman, Fioretta, looked up sharply. That sounds right. Fioretta. Fioretta what? Leonardo asked. Marco hesitated. That's where it gets complicated. The missing persons report doesn't list a last name, and whoever filed it had enough pull to keep it out of international databases. We only found it because we have contacts in Italian law enforcement. Leonardo's instincts prickled.
Someone with power wanted her missing, but not officially dead. Or someone with power wanted her found only by the right people. Fioretta's hands shook. I was in Milan? I don't remember Milan. I don't remember anything before waking up in that street and seeing headlights coming at me. Leonardo made a decision that would change everything. You're coming with me. What? You can't stay here. Whoever tried to kill you knows you're alive. This hospital has too many access points, too many people. He gestured to Marco. Arrange discharge, private transport. To where? Fioretta asked. Leonardo looked at her. Until we figure out who you are and who wants you dead, you're under my protection, which means you're coming to my home. I don't even know you. You know I'm the only reason you're still breathing. He softened his voice slightly. And until your memory returns, I'm the only person you can trust. It wasn't
Entirely true, but she didn't need to know that yet. The Valentino compound in Westchester was a fortress disguised as a mansion. 15 bedrooms, 10 bathrooms, gardens that required a staff of 6, and enough security to guard a head of state. Which, in this world, Leonardo essentially was. Fioretta stood in the marble foyer, still wearing hospital scrubs because her blood-stained dress had been destroyed, looking utterly lost. This is your home? One of them. Leonardo nodded to his head of security. Angelo, this is Fioretta. She's a guest, full protection protocols. No one gets near her without clearance. No one leave the property without my knowledge. Angelo nodded. Understood, Don Valentino. Fioretta's eyes widened at the title. Leonardo took her arm gently. Come, I'll show you to your room. As they climbed the grand staircase, she whispered, Don? It's a title, like a CEO but with more finality. You're Mafia. He didn't slow down. Does that frighten you? Should it? Probably. He opened a door to a bedroom that was larger than most apartments. But you grabbed my sleeve in that hospital. Some part of you knew what I was and asked for help anyway. She walked into the room slowly, taking in the king bed, the attached bathroom, the windows overlooking the gardens. This is beautiful. There are clothes in the closet, my mother's from when she was younger. You're about the same size. He moved to leave, then paused. Dinner is at 8. You'll join me. Is that a request or an order? Leonardo almost smiled. With me, those are usually the same thing. Dinner was served in a dining room that could seat 20 but held only 2. Fioretta wore a simple black dress from the closet that fit perfectly. Leonardo had changed into dark slacks and a white shirt, sleeves rolled to his elbows. Tattoos marked his forearms, Roman numerals, a family crest, words in Italian she couldn't quite read. You have questions, Leonardo said, pouring wine. Ask them. Why are you helping me? Next question. That wasn't an answer. It was, you just didn't like it. He sipped his wine. Try again. Fioretta set down her fork. Fine. What do you want from me? Now you're asking the right questions. Leonardo leaned back. I want to know who you are. I want to know why someone connected to Chicago wants you dead. And I want to know if helping you is going to start a war I'm not prepared to fight yet. And if it does, then I'll fight it anyway. His eyes held hers. I don't leave people to die, Fioretta. Not when they look at me the way you did in that hospital. How did I look at you? Like you knew exactly what I was and trusted me anyway. She swallowed hard. What if my memory never comes back? Then we build you a new life. He said it like it was simple, like creating an identity from nothing was just another Tuesday. You need purpose, money, protection. I can give you all 3. In exchange for what? In exchange for your honesty. While you're here, under my roof, you tell me everything you remember the moment you remember it. No secrets. And when I'm not here, you won't be leaving. That sounds like I'm a prisoner. No. Leonardo's voice went hard. Prisoners don't get a choice. You do. Walk out that door right now if you want. I won't stop you. But you'll be dead by morning, because whoever tried to kill you the first time will finish the job the second they find you. Fioretta's hands clenched in her lap. So my choices are stay here under your protection or die. Yes, some choice. Better than no choice at all. He stood, came around the table, crouched aside her chair so they were eye level. I know this is terrifying. I know you don't remember who you were, but I'm offering you a chance to become who you need to be. Work for me. Learn from me. Let me keep you alive long enough to remember why someone wants you dead. Work for you doing what? Leonardo smiled, and it was almost warm. You'll be my personal assistant. You'll handle my schedule, my calls, my legitimate business operations. You'll learn how my world works. And when your memory returns, you'll decide if you want to stay in it or disappear somewhere I can't follow. Why would you let me leave? Because forcing you to stay would make me the same as whoever tried to kill you. He stood. Think about it tonight. Give me your answer in the morning. He walked to the door. Leonardo? He turned. Thank you for saving my life. Don't thank me yet, Fioretta. You don't know what I'm saving you for. In his study, Leonardo found Marco waiting with a grim expression and a manila folder. What is it? The Chicago connection. I dug deeper. Marco opened the folder. That shell corporation that owned the SUV, it eventually traces back to a consortium of businesses owned by Salvatore Alonso. Leonardo's blood went cold. The Alonso family tried to kill her? It gets worse. I reached out to our contacts in Milan. The missing persons report for Fioretta, it was filed by the Italian embassy on behalf of an anonymous benefactor. But the diplomatic flags and the resources used, that level of pull only comes from one kind of family. She's connected to organized crime. Not just connected, Don Valentino. Marco pulled out a photograph. I had my guy in Milan dig into society pages, charity events, anything from 6 months ago. He found this. The photograph showed a gala. In the center, a powerful-looking man in his 60s with steel gray hair and cold eyes. Beside him, 3 younger men who shared his features. And next to them, smiling and radiant in a red dress, was Fioretta. The caption read, Salvatore Alonso and Sons celebrate daughter from European studies. Leonardo stared at the photo. Dio mio! Fioretta isn't just connected to the Alonso family, Marco said quietly. She is the Alonso family, Salvatore's only daughter, the princess of the Chicago Empire, missing for 6 months, presumed kidnapped or dead. And someone from her own family tried to kill her? Leonardo's mind raced. Why? I don't know, but Don Valentino, Marco's voice dropped, if Salvatore Alonso finds out we have his daughter, if he thinks we're the ones who took her, it'll be war. Not just war, annihilation. The Alonso family has triple our resources, double our territories. Your mother's alliance proposal was strategic for a reason. We can't fight them and win. Leonardo looked at the photo again, at Fioretta's smile, at the family surrounding her. She doesn't remember them. She doesn't remember anything. Which means we have a choice to make. Do we tell her who she is? Do we return her to her family? Or do we do nothing yet? Leonardo's decision was instant. She stays here. She works for me. We keep digging until we know who tried to kill her and why. And when she remembers on her own, then we deal with it. But Leonardo, if the Alonsos find out she's here before we have answers, I'll make sure they don't. Marco gathered the photos. One more thing. There's another player interested in Fioretta's disappearance. Who? Matteo Russo, the Don from Boston. Word is he was supposed to marry Fioretta before she disappeared. The alliance was already arranged. Leonardo's grip tightened on his glass. Russo's looking for her? Obsessively. He's put out word that anyone with information about Salvatore Alonso's daughter will be rewarded handsomely. He paused. The reward is high enough that even our own soldiers might be tempted. Then we keep this circle small. You, me, Angelo. No one else knows who she really is. After Marco left, Leonardo stood at the window watching the lights in Fioretta's room.
She was the daughter of his greatest rival, the fiancé of a dangerous man, the target of an assassination attempt from within her own family. And she was sleeping under his roof, trusting him to keep her safe. "Cazzo," he whispered. This was going to end in blood. The only question was whose. Morning came with screaming. Leonardo was in Fioretta's room before his guards reached the stairs, gun drawn, instinct overriding thought. She was sitting up in bed, gasping, tears streaming down her face. "I saw them. I saw—" "What did you see?" Leonardo holstered his weapon, sat on the edge of the bed. "Fioretta, what did you remember?" "A man, older, gray hair. He was yelling at me, and there were others, 3 of them. They looked alike." Her hands shook. "One of them said, he said I was a liability, that I knew too much, that I should have stayed in Italy."
Her brothers. It had to be. What else? A ring. Someone put a ring on my finger and I tried to give it back. I said I wouldn't marry him. I'd never marry him. And the older man, he hit me. She touched her cheek like she could still feel it. He said I didn't have a choice, that the alliance was already sealed. Leonardo's jaw clenched. "Did you see who you were supposed to marry?" "No, just the ring. It had a family crest, a wolf." Her eyes met his, desperate. "What does it mean? Who were those people?" He had to make a choice. Tell her the truth and risk her running back to the family that tried to kill her, or keep lying and hope he could protect her when the truth inevitably came out. "It means," Leonardo said carefully, "that you were running from an arranged marriage, that you refused someone powerful and they didn't accept no for an answer. But the accident? Maybe wasn't an accident. Maybe it was punishment for refusing." Fioretta's breath came faster. "Then they'll come for me again, when they find out I'm alive." "They won't find you." Leonardo took her hands, forced her to look at him. "You're under my protection now. You're mine to keep safe. Do you understand?" Something flickered in her eyes. "Yours?" "Mine." The word came out more possessive than he intended. "No one touches what's mine." She should have been frightened, should have pulled away. Instead, she held his gaze. "I accept your offer. I'll work for you. I'll learn your world. I'll stay." "Good." He stood, but she didn't release his hand. "Leonardo, that man in my memory, the one who hit me." Her voice dropped. "I think he was my father." Leonardo said nothing, because she was right. 2 weeks became a month. Fiorella learned fast. She learned that Leonardo's import-export business had very little to do with shipping containers and everything to do with territory control. She learned that when he took calls in Italian, someone usually ended up dead or paid. She learned that respect was currency and fear was insurance. She learned that he drank his espresso black, worked until 3 a.m., and slept with a gun under his pillow. She learned that his mother visited every Sunday for dinner and watched Fioretta like a hawk studying prey. She learned that the scars on his back were from his father's belt, and the tattoo over his heart said "Familia prima di tutto," family above all. And she learned that being near him made her feel safe and terrified in equal measure. "You're staring." Leonardo didn't look up from the contracts spread across his desk. Fioretta stood in the doorway of his study, holding his afternoon espresso. "I'm observing. You told me to learn how you work." "I work better without an audience." "Then you shouldn't have made me your assistant." She set the cup beside him, noticed the blood on his knuckles. "What happened?" "Business meeting." "Business meetings don't usually involve violence." "Mind you." He finally looked up at her. "Does it bother you?" "Should it?" "Most people would say yes. I'm not most people. I don't know who I was before, but I know who I am now. And right now, I'm someone who works for a man who solves problems with his fists. I've made peace with it." Leonardo studied her. "You've changed. You've changed me." The air between them shifted, charged. "Fioretta." His phone rang. Marco's name on the screen. Leonardo answered. "Talk." Fioretta watched his expression darken. When? How many? No, don't engage. Pull our people back. He hung up. We have a problem. What kind? The Gallo family just hit one of our warehouses. 3 dead, $500,000 in product gone. Fioretta stood. What are you going to do? What I always do. Leonardo grabbed his jacket, checked his gun. I'm going to remind them why you don't touch what's mine. Let me come with you. Absolutely not. I can help. Fioretta. He gripped her shoulders. This isn't business contracts and phone calls. This is war, and I won't risk you. Why not? I'm just your assistant. You're more than that, and you know it. The explosion escaped before he could stop it. Angelo burst in. Don Valentino, they're asking for you. It's a trap, but we don't have a choice. They have Marco. Leonardo's expression went arctic. Prepare the cars. He looked at Fioretta one last time. Stay here. Don't leave this house. Don't trust anyone but Angelo. Leonardo, promise me. I promise. He kissed her forehead quick, desperate, then walked out. Fioretta stood alone in his study, heart pounding, and remembered something else. A room, blood on walls, a man with gray hair saying, "You'll marry Matteo Russo or you'll die trying to refuse. Those are your only options." Her father's voice. If you're still here, you already know this isn't just a story. It's a descent into a world where love and violence are the same language, where protection looks like possession, and surrender feels like power. Leonardo's running out of ways to keep her safe without keeping her captive. Fioretta's running out of reasons to fight him when fighting feels like the only thing keeping her alive. Subscribe, because the people who stay for this kind of darkness understand that the most dangerous thing you can do is fall for someone who was never supposed to let you live. Leonardo walked into the abandoned factory alone. 20 Gallo soldiers surrounded him. In the center, Marco was tied to a chair, bleeding but alive. Don Valentino, Enzo Gallo, stepped from the shadows, gun casual in his hand. Good of you to come. Let him go. Not until we discuss terms. Enzo circled him. See, we know about the girl. Every muscle in Leonardo's body got rigid. What girl? Don't insult me. The woman you've been hiding, the one who survived our hit. Enzo smiled. We know who she is, Leonardo. Do the Alonsos? You tried to kill Salvatore Alonso's daughter? We were hired to. Very generous pay. But then you had to play hero. Enzo leaned in front of him. So here's the deal. You give us the girl and we forget this ever happened. You keep the girl and we tell Salvatore Alonso that the Valentino family is holding his precious daughter hostage. Leonardo's laugh was cold. You think Alonso will believe you. I think he'll investigate. I think he'll come for you. And I think he'll destroy your entire family. Enzo leaned in. Or you give her to us, we complete our contract, and everyone wins. Except her, of course. Who hired you? Quiet confidentiality. Leonardo moved so fast, Enzo didn't see it coming. One moment, 20 guns pointed at Leonardo. The next, Leonardo had Enzo in a chokehold, using him as a shield. You have 3 seconds to tell me who hired you, or I paint these walls with your brains. You'll die. I'm already dead if I walk out of here. Tell me who hired you or we both die right now. Enzo gasped. One of the brothers, Alessandro Alonso, paid us to make it look like an accident, said she was becoming a problem. Her own brother.
Leonardo released Enzo, who collapsed. Cut Marco loose, Leonardo ordered, and tell Alessandro Alonso that his problem is now my protection. Anyone who comes for Fioretta comes through me first. You're choosing her over peace with the Gallos? Over avoiding war with the Alonsos? I'm choosing her over everything. Leonardo's voice was absolute. Spread the word. Leonardo returned to the compound at dawn, blood-spattered and exhausted. He found Fioretta curled up on the couch in his study, asleep. She woke when he entered. You're alive. Disappointed? Relieved. She stood, saw the blood. Are you hurt? Not mine. Marco? Safe. She closed the distance between them. What happened? I made enemies. Nothing new, but his hands shook as he poured scotch. You should go back to bed. I remember more. Her voice stopped him. My name isn't just Fioretta, it's Fioretta Alonso. Leonardo turned slowly. You remember your family? Pieces. My father, Salvatore, my 3 brothers, Alessandro, Marco, and Luca. They wanted me to marry someone, Matteo Russo, for an alliance. Her eyes filled with tears. I refused, and Alessandro, he said I was a liability, that I knew too much about the family business, that I should have stayed quiet in Italy. What did you know? I don't remember yet, but enough that my own brother wanted me dead. She met his gaze. The Alonsos are your enemies, aren't they? Salvatore wants to kill me. Your brothers would consider it a personal victory. So yes. Then why did you protect me? Because you asked me to. That's not an answer. It's the only answer you're getting. Leonardo slammed the glass down. Because I looked at you dying in that hospital and something in me refused to let you go. Because keeping you alive feels more important than staying alive myself. Because you... He stopped, jaw clenched. Because I what? Leonardo crossed to her in 3 strides, cupped her face in bloody hands. Because you're the only thing in this godforsaken world that feels real. Because every time I try to rationalize sending you back to your family, my finger hovers over the trigger before I can pull it. Because... She kissed him. It wasn't gentle, it was desperate and raw, and tasted like fear and defiance and everything they'd been holding back. When they broke apart, Leonardo rested his forehead against hers. This is a mistake. I know. Your family will come for you. I know. And I won't let you go. I know. She pulled him closer. So what are we going to do? We're going to survive. He kissed her again, slower this time. Together. Rosa Valentino sat in Leonardo's study like a queen on a throne, diamond rings glittering as she set down her espresso cup. You're sleeping with Salvatore Alonso's daughter. Leonardo didn't flinch. I'm protecting a woman who was targeted by her own family. You're starting a war over a woman. I'm preventing a war by keeping her alive. Rosa's laugh was brittle. Oh, my son, you always were terrible at lying to me. She stood, moved to the window. Salvatore called me yesterday. His daughter has been missing for 6 months. He's offering a reward for information. $20 million. Leonardo's blood went cold. And I told him I'd heard rumors she might be in New York, sick, confused, possibly dead. Rosa turned. I bought you time, Leonardo, but not much. He's coming to the city next week for a charity gala. All the families will be there, including the Russos. I'm not going. You will go, and you will bring Fioretta. Are you insane? If Salvatore sees her, he'll demand answers, and you'll give them to him. Rosa's smile was calculating. You'll tell him that you found his daughter injured and lost, that you've been caring for her while she tried to discover who hurt her, that you've kept her safe while she recovered her memory. He'll never believe I didn't know who she was. He'll believe what I tell him to believe. I have leverage with Salvatore. Pause. And he has leverage with Matteo Russo. Fioretta was promised to Matteo. That alliance was important to both families. Was? Is. If Fioretta marries Matteo as planned, it cements the Alonso-Russo partnership, Boston and Chicago united. So yes, met his eyes, which is why you're going to offer Salvatore an alternative. Leonardo understood. A marriage alliance with us instead. The Valentinos and the Alonsos, New York and Chicago. It's what I proposed before, but now you have something Salvatore wants. His daughter, safe, alive, and in love with the man who saved her. She's not in love with me. Don't lie to me or yourself. Rosa gathered her purse. Bring her to the gala. Let Salvatore see she's safe, that you've protected her, that you care for her. Let him see that Alessandro tried to kill her and you stopped it. Then offer him what he wants, a powerful alliance through marriage. And if she refuses, then you lose her to Matteo Russo anyway. At least this way you have a chance. Rosa kissed his cheek. And Leonardo,
Find out what Fioretta knows that made her brother want her dead. That information is worth more than any alliance. After she left, Leonardo found Fioretta in the garden, reading. We're going to a gala next week. She looked up. Why? Because your father will be there, and it's time he knew you're alive. Fioretta stood in front of the mirror, barely recognizing herself. The gown was crimson silk, custom-made, cut to show just enough power and not enough weakness. Diamonds at her throat, Leonardo's mother's, borrowed for the occasion. Hair swept up to reveal the fading bruises that makeup couldn't quite hide. She looked like the daughter of a Mafia Don. She looked like she belonged in this world. Leonardo appeared in the doorway, devastating in a black tuxedo. You're staring again. You look like you're going to war. I am. He crossed to her, offered his arm. Ready? To face my father who might want me dead, to see my brothers who definitely want me dead, to meet a man I was supposed to marry but don't remember? Fioretta took his arm. Absolutely not. Good. Fear keeps you sharp. The gala was held at the Plaza Hotel, glittering with money and menace. Every major crime family on the East Coast was represented, enemies drinking champagne and plotting murder in equal measure. Leonardo kept Fioretta close as they entered. Whispers followed them. Is that Alonso's daughter? Vattilino brought her. Salvatore's going to kill him. Then the room went silent. Salvatore Alonso stood across the ballroom, flanked by his 3 sons. His eyes locked on Fioretta. For a moment, the powerful Don looked like a man who'd seen a ghost. Then he moved, fast. Fioretta! He reached her in seconds, hands gripping her shoulders like he was afraid she'd disappear. My daughter, my beautiful girl, you're alive. Fioretta stiffened. Memories crashed over her. This man teaching her to shoot, this man slapping her across the face, this man saying family is everything, this man threatening to kill her if she didn't obey.
Father. Salvatore pulled her into an embrace. Over her shoulder, his eyes met Leonardo's. The message was clear. She's mine. You're dead. Then Salvatore pulled back, studying her. Where have you been? We've been searching. I don't remember much. Fioretta's timing in Leonardo's worlds kicked in. There was an accident. Leonardo found me. He's been keeping me safe while I recovered. An accident? Alessandro stepped forward, and Fioretta saw guilt flicker across his face before his mask fell. What kind of accident? The kind where someone tried to kill me. Fioretta's voice was ice. Someone who wanted me to disappear permanently. Salvatore's expression darkened. Who? Before Fioretta could answer, another man approached. Tall, handsome, cold eyes. He wore a ring with a wolf crest. Fioretta. His voice was possessive. You've come back to me. Matteo Russo, the man she was supposed to marry. Leonardo's hand tightened on her waist, claiming her without words. Matteo noticed. His smile went sharp. Valentino, I didn't realize you were interested in my fiancé. Former fiancé, Leonardo corrected, since she's been missing for 6 months. The engagement never ended, just delayed. Matteo extended his hand to Fioretta. Come, amore, we need to talk. Fioretta didn't move. I'm not going anywhere with you. The entire ballroom held its breath. Salvatore's voice cut through the tension. Fioretta, Matteo has been very worried about you. Surely you can spare him a conversation. I don't remember him. Then let him remind you. It wasn't a suggestion. Leonardo leaned close to her ear. Go. Listen. Learn what you can. I will be watching. Fioretta let Matteo lead her to a private balcony. Behind her, she heard Leonardo and Salvatore begin a conversation that sounded like negotiation but felt like war. On the balcony, Matteo backed her against the railing. 6 months, he said softly. 6 months I've been looking for you. Do you know what I thought? That you'd run, that you'd chosen to disappear rather than marry me. Maybe I did. His hand caught her jaw.
not gently. "You don't get to run from me, Fioretta. We had a deal. My father's deal, not mine. Your father's deals are your deals. That's how this world works." He leaned in. "Did Valentino touch you?" "That's none of your business." "Everything about you is my business. You're mine." His grip tightened. "I don't care what you remember or don't remember. I don't care if you've been playing house with Leonardo Valentino for 6 months. You were promised to me, and I always collect what I'm owed." Fioretta shoved him back. "I'm not property. In this world, yes, you are. But I'm a generous man. I'll forgive your indiscretion. I'll even forgive Valentino for thinking he could keep you, because at the end of the night, you're leaving with me, back to Boston, back to where you belong. And if I refuse, then your father will make you cooperate, or Leonardo will die trying to keep you. Your choice." He walked back inside, leaving Fioretta shaking with rage and fear. When she returned to the ballroom, Leonardo was deep in conversation with her father. Both men looked up as she approached. "Ah, Fioretta." Salvatore's smile was warm, too warm. "Leonardo and I have been discussing your situation. We've come to an arrangement." Leonardo's expression was unreadable. "What kind of arrangement?" Fioretta asked. "The kind that keeps everyone alive," Salvatore said. "You'll return home with me tonight. We'll cancel the engagement with Matteo. He wasn't happy, but I convinced him. And in 6 months, after you've recovered fully and remembered who you are, we'll revisit the idea of alliances. And Leonardo? Leonardo understands that you need time with your family." Salvatore's voice hardened slightly. "He's been very gracious in caring for you, but it's time for you to come home." Fioretta looked at Leonardo. His jaw was clenched, hands in his pockets. Every line of his body screamed caged violence. "And if I don't want to go?" "Fioretta," Leonardo spoke for the first time, "go with your father." Her heart stopped. "What?" "You heard me. Go home. Remember who you are. Figure out what you want." His eyes held her. "This is not the life for you. You don't get to decide that. I just did." He turned to Salvatore. "Take care of her." Then Leonardo Valentino walked out of the ballroom, leaving Fioretta staring after him. Salvatore's hand closed on her shoulder. "Come, daughter, let's go home." The Alonzo compound in Chicago was a prison dressed as a palace. Fioretta had been back for 2 weeks. 2 weeks of her father's watchful eyes, her brother's careful questions, and suffocating silence about what happened in New York. She remembered now, almost everything. She remembered discovering her family's partnership with a human trafficking ring. She remembered threatening to go to the FBI. She remembered Alessandro saying, "You're too much of a liability, little sister." She remembered running. And she remembered Leonardo's face when he told her to leave. "You've been quiet." Alessandro appeared in her doorway, handsome and dangerous. "Not like you. Maybe I've changed. Or maybe you're planning something." He sat on her bed, uninvited. "Does Valentino know about the files you stole?" Fioretta went very still. "What files?" "Don't play games. The evidence you compiled on our trafficking operations, the names, the routes, the politicians we paid off. You took it all before you ran." Alessandro smiled. "That's why I had to stop you. You were going to destroy this family. You were destroying innocent lives." "Semantics." He stood. "Where are the files?" "I don't remember." "Liar." He grabbed her throat, slammed her against the wall. "Tell me where the files are, or I'll make you remember." The door burst open. Salvatore stood there, rage in his eyes. "Alessandro, release her." Alessandro dropped his hand. "She has information that could destroy us. And you were the one who tried to kill her for it." Salvatore's voice was deadly quiet. "Did you think I wouldn't find out?" Alessandro paled. The gallows sing when they're motivated properly. They told me you hired them. My own son tried to kill my daughter. Salvatore pulled out a gun. Give me one reason I shouldn't put you down like a rabid dog. Because I need you. The family needs loyalty. You've proven you have none. Salvatore turned to Fioretta. Where are the files? She met her father's eyes. Gone. I destroyed them before the accident. It was a lie. The files were hidden in a safety deposit box in Milan, insurance against her own family. Salvatore studied her. I don't believe you, but I believe you'll never give them up. He lowered the gun from Alessandro. You're both liabilities. Alessandro for attacking you, you for knowing too much. So what are you going to do? Kill us both? No. Salvatore's smile was cold. I'm going to fix this the way I always do, with an alliance. He pulled out his phone, made a call. Matteo, the wedding is back on. Next month, no delays. Fioretta's blood froze. No. You don't have a choice. You marry Matteo, the Russo family gets access to our Chicago territories, and you become their problem instead of mine. Salvatore holstered his weapon. Alessandro will serve as your escort. Consider it punishment for both of you.
He walked out. Alessandro glared at her. This is your fault. This is your fault. You tried to kill me. And I should have succeeded. He left, slamming the door. The lock clicked. Fioretta was alone, trapped, and running out of time. She grabbed her phone, the new one her father had given her, and dialed the only number that mattered. It rang 4 times before he answered. Fioretta? Just her name, but the way Leonardo said it made her eyes burn. I need help. Leonardo listened as Fioretta explained everything, the files, the trafficking, Alessandro's attempt on her life, the forced marriage. When she finished, silence. Then, where are the files? Safety deposit box in Milan. Only I can access it. And you want what? Me to storm an Alonso compound and rescue you like some fairy tale? His voice was harsh. I told you to stay with your family, to remember who you are. I remembered. I'd rather die than live in this world without choosing it for myself. Fioretta's voice broke. You told me you'd protect me. You said I was yours. I lied. No, you didn't. She knew him too well now. You pushed me away to keep me safe from whatever war you thought was coming. But the war is already here, Leonardo, and I'm choosing you. I'm choosing us. So either help me or get out of my way. Another pause. Then Leonardo's voice, rough with emotion. I've been planning your extraction since the moment I watched you leave that gala. Fioretta's breath caught. What? Did you really think I'd let you go that easily? A dark laugh. I have men in Chicago. I have routes out of the city. I have a plane fueled and waiting. But Fioretta, if I do this, if I take you from your family, there's no going back. Your father will hunt us. Matteo will hunt us. The entire Chicago empire will want our heads. I know. And you're choosing me anyway? I chose you the moment I grabbed your sleeve in that hospital. Then hold on, amore mio. I'm coming for you. The plan was simple and insane. Fioretta would fake illness the night before the wedding. Leonardo's inside man, a doctor on the Alonso payroll, would recommend emergency treatment at a private hospital. En route, the ambulance would be intercepted. Fioretta would disappear. By the time Salvatore realized what happened, she'd be on a plane to Milan with Leonardo, retrieving the files and turning them to Interpol with immunity deals already in place. The Alonso empire would crumble. Fioretta would be free. And she and Leonardo would have to disappear for the rest of their lives. Are you sure about this? Marco asked Leonardo as they finalized the plan. Once we move, the Alonsos, the Russos, even the other families, they'll all want revenge. I'm sure. She's one woman, Leonardo. Is she worth your empire? Leonardo looked at Marco. She's worth more than that. She's worth everything. The night before the wedding, Fioretta collapsed at dinner. Salvatore called for doctors. The Alonso family physician arrived, Dr. Marino, Leonardo's man, and declared it was acute appendicitis, immediate surgery required. "Take her to our facility," Salvatore ordered. "Sir, with respect, your facility isn't equipped for this kind of emergency surgery. We need a full surgical suite." Dr. Marino's performance was flawless. "Mount Sinai has the best." "Fine. Alessandro, go with her." Fioretta's heart sank. She hadn't planned for Alessandro. The ambulance ride was tense. Alessandro sat across from her, suspicious. "You're not sick." "I'm dying," Fioretta gasped, playing her part. "You're running." Alessandro pulled out his phone. "And I'm not letting." The ambulance swerved hard. Alessandro flew sideways. The back doors exploded open. Leonardo stood there, gun drawn. "Get out." Alessandro reached for his weapon. Leonardo shot him in the shoulder. Non-fatal, merciful. "Move and the next one goes in your skull." Leonardo climbed into the ambulance, took Fioretta's hand. "You good?" "Better now." They transferred to a waiting car. Marco drove. Within 20 minutes, they were at a private airfield. Fioretta's phone rang. Salvatore. She answered. "Father?" "You made your choice." His voice was terrifyingly calm. "I want you to know that I understand. You've chosen Leonardo Valentino over your own blood. You've chosen to destroy this family. You destroyed this family when you started trafficking human beings. And you'll destroy Leonardo when I find you, Fioretta, because I will find you. I will find you both, and I will make him watch while I take everything from you before I take you from him. You can try. One more thing, daughter. Matteo Russo just declared vendetta against the Valentino family. He's calling it a blood debt, a stolen bride, a broken alliance. Every family that's had a grudge against Leonardo will back him. You didn't save Leonardo by running to him. You signed his death warrant." Salvatore hung up. Fioretta looked at Leonardo. "He says Matteo declared vendetta, that the families will unite against you." Leonardo smiled, cold and sharp. "Good. Let them come." They reached Milan in 8 hours, went straight to the bank, retrieved the files. The evidence was devastating. Names of politicians, police chiefs, judges, routes through 3 countries, financial records showing millions in profit. "This will destroy more than just your family," Leonardo said, reviewing the documents. "This implicates half of organized crime on 2 continents. Good. Burn it all down." But when they met with the Interpol contact, a woman named Sofia, who'd promised immunity, her first words were, "Leonardo Valentino, you're under arrest." Leonardo didn't move. For murder, racketeering, money laundering, the list is extensive. She gestured to the agents surrounding them. "And Fioretta Alonso, you're wanted for questioning regarding the disappearance of 3 FBI informants who were investigating your family." Fioretta's Weld tilted. "What? I didn't—" "Your brother Alessandro provided evidence that you ordered their deaths to protect family secrets." Sophia's smile was sympathetic. "The immunity deal, you see, was contingent on your cooperation and your innocence. Turns out you're not as innocent as you claimed." Leonardo grabbed Fioretta's hand. "She's being framed." "Maybe, but you're not." Sophia nodded to her agents. "Take them." The agents moved forward. Leonardo whispered to Fioretta. "Run." "No." "Run." He attacked. Fists, fury, desperation. Took down 3 agents before they swarmed him. Fioretta ran. Out of the bank, into the crowded Milan streets, disappeared into the city her family had hidden her in months ago. Behind her, Leonardo Valentino was arrested. The files, the evidence that was supposed to save them, were confiscated, and Fioretta was alone again. 3 weeks later, New York. Leonardo was released on bail, $2 million. Rosa Valentino paid it without blinking. He returned to the compound to find it under siege, not by bullets, but by betrayal. Half his soldiers had defected to the Russo family. His territories were being carved up.
The Valentino Empire was dying. Marco met him at the door. "Leonardo, thank God. We need to—"
Where is she? We don't know. She disappeared in Milan. Interpol lost her. Her family can't find her. Marco paused. There are rumors she's dead. No, Leonardo's voice was absolute. I'd know if she was dead. How? Because a part of me would die with her. His phone rang. Unknown number. He answered. Leonardo? Fioretta's voice, tired but alive. I'm sorry. Where are you? Somewhere safe. Somewhere they can't find me. A pause. I have the files. I copied them before Interpol took the originals. Fioretta, I'm going to finish this. I'm going to take down my family, clear your name, and expose everyone who deserves to burn. But I can't do it from inside your world. I have to do it alone. Then I'll come with you. You can't. Your family needs you. Your empire is falling apart. If you leave now, you'll lose everything. I already lost everything. Leonardo's control shattered. I lost you. You didn't lose me. You saved me. Her voice broke. You showed me I could choose. So I'm choosing to fight. I'm choosing to finish what I started. And when it's done, when my family is destroyed and your name is cleared and the world knows the truth, what? I'll come back to you, if you'll still have me. Fioretta, listen to me. I love you, Leonardo Valentino. I love you enough to let you go. I love you enough to set you free. I love you enough to destroy my entire world so you can keep yours. She was crying now. So fight for your empire, survive this, and wait for me. How long? However long it takes. The line went dead. Leonardo stood in his study, phone in hand, feeling like he'd been shot. Marco put a hand on his shoulder. What are you going to do? Leonardo looked at the family crest on the wall, the words beneath it, Familia prima di tutto. He'd spent his entire life putting family first, duty before desire, empire before heart, and it had cost him the only thing that mattered. I'm going to save my family, Leonardo said quietly, and then I'm going to find her, even if it takes the rest of my life. 6 months later, the Alonso Empire fell in spectacular fashion. Files leaked to every law enforcement agency across 3 continents. Salvatore Alonso was arrested. Alessandro and his brothers were indicted. The trafficking network was dismantled. Matteo Russo's vendetta died with the evidence showing he'd known about the trafficking and profited from it. He went down too. Leonardo's name was cleared of the murder charges. Evidence surfaced showing the deaths were ordered by Alessandro Alonso, framing both his sister and Leonardo to eliminate threats. The Valentino Empire survived, barely. Leonardo rebuilt, recovered his territories, made new alliances, became even more powerful than before. But every night he stood at the window of his study and wondered where she was. Then, one evening, a year after Milan, he returned home to find someone sitting in his study. Fioretta. Older, harder, but alive. Hello, Leonardo. He crossed to her in 3 strides, pulled her into his arms. You came back. She held him just as tightly. It's done. My family is destroyed. The trafficking network is gone. Everyone who needed to pay has paid. And you, I'm free. She pulled back, met his eyes. Finally free. So what happens now? Fioretta smiled. It was the first real smile he'd seen from her since the hospital. Now you ask me properly. Ask you what? To stay. Leonardo cupped her face. Fioretta Alonso, will you stay with me? Not as my assistant, not as someone I'm protecting, but as my partner, my equal, my choice. On one condition. Anything. We do this differently. No more empire built on blood, no more violence as the first solution. We use your power to build something better. Her voice was fierce. We save people instead of destroying them. It should have been impossible, a Mafia Don going legitimate. But Leonardo had already done the impossible. He'd fallen in love with his enemy's daughter. He'd chosen her over everything. He'd survived her loss and fought to deserve her return. Together, he said. Together, she agreed.
They kissed, and in that kiss was everything they'd survived: betrayal, violence, separation, loss, and everything they'd become: partners, equals, survivors, lovers. Outside, the world was still dangerous, enemies still lurked, the past still haunted. But inside Leonardo's study, wrapped in each other's arms, they'd already won the only war that mattered, the one for each other. If this story found you when you needed it, pass it on to someone who understands that some love stories are written in blood and sealed with sacrifice. If you've ever been caught between the monster you should fear and the man you can't stop wanting, you belong here. Subscribe so these stories keep finding the people who need them. And if you want to know what happens next, if they truly go legitimate, if the past comes calling, if love is enough when you're trying to wash blood from your hands, tell me in the comments. Because in this world, nothing is ever truly over. The question is, are you brave enough to see what comes next?